Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hey, fine folks. This is Freedom Fighter. Good evening. This is Freedom Fighter. This is Saturday Night Dialogues. It is February the 22nd, 2025. Woo! We have a jam-packed call tonight. Not only with our members who are going to be giving you updates on their process and their progress with establishing their relationships at the banks with wealth managers, but also the articles tonight is going to knock you off your feet. Let's jump into it. I want to get going. Let's get into some prayer. Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be here as always, as a family, as a tribe, as a community. We ask that you allow us to be able to bring forth the message tonight to the people that is encouraging, and also that they will receive. We all know that we are consistently, Father God, bringing forth the facts. We just ask that you allow the people to receive it and believe it, because it's in their best interest. We ask that you allow anyone and everyone that is going to be speaking tonight to be able to speak from their truth and their belief and what they are doing and how they are doing it. And also we ask that you allow the people that hear them to be able to receive it and let it resonate with them, so that they can also begin the process, just like as the folks who are going to be sharing their stories tonight. And we thank you, Father, for allowing those that have already come forward on every single call and every single time in the room. We thank you for allowing them to have the courage to begin taking the steps forward to establish their relationships with the actual bankers and wealth managers, because it's going to make a difference in their future. We thank you for all of those that continuously follow Goldilocks. Goldilocks has been able to shed light in the midst of darkness throughout this dinar land community, where a lot of people are completely and totally confused based on the darkness that is being presented to them. So we thank you for the light. We honor you. We glorify you. And in your precious name we pray. Amen. All right, folks, let's get into some real quick announcements. We, of course, have Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Saturday. Of course, you know that's where we bring the breakdown of the articles. That's where we also, the tribe, Wiley, myself, we are there showing folks the 8 steps, teaching them how to establish their relationships with the actual wealth managers and the banks, whereby their exchanges will be done. It is like a big classroom. It is a master class, if you will, of how to prepare for your exchange, how to also establish your relationships to prepare for your generational wealth, and then move on with the rest of your life once your wealth is established. Then we have D's room, where D drops a ton of articles every day from what's happening in the global banking system. We have crypto finance news with Dave Big Dog, where he drops articles and interacts with members there regarding anything related to cryptocurrencies. Today, of course, is Saturday, the 22nd. Friday, yesterday, the 21st, we had a very special podcast with Bambi and Mrs. Potato Head. They're out of Mrs. Potato Head is out of France. Bambi is in London, England, and we had a very special call where they shared their updates on their progress with their wealth managers. That episode will be released on Sunday, the 23rd, at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You do not want to miss that update. When this call comes out from Saturday night on Monday, the call with Bambi in London, along with Mr. Potato Head in France, it would have already come out, but I want you all to know that call is there. Many of you have heard us before talk about how the Goldilocks Global Banking News and the QFS Dialogues Room is global, where people from around the world, literally, not figuratively speaking, literally, are tuning in to get their updates from Goldilocks. You have also proof, many receipts with many members from around the world that participate in our room. And now we have consistently members from other countries that are now sharing their bank stories. See, folks, the RV, the Global RV GCR, it is that, a global event. Every banking system, central bank around the world is participating. Every country around the world is participating. And here you have members from around the world, across the pond, that are establishing relationships based on the steps that we have shared. You are very privileged, folks, to be a part of this, and we're privileged that you're here. Also, Goldilocks Global Banking News, of course, that's your daily podcast where, like it says, global banking news. This is reaching across the globe. We are proud. That is, of course, the daily podcast. You do not want to miss your updates every day from Goldilocks Global Banking News on what's transpiring with the RV. Make sure when you click the link in the description, you subscribe to the Goldilocks Global Banking News. Make sure you hit your notifications so that you don't miss any updates. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter every day regarding the RV. Now, tonight, we have some very special guests. We always have special guests. But tonight, we have a wonderful lady, CNL's mom. We're going to introduce her shortly. Then we have Charity and Peace. And then we have KD. Two of these beautiful folks you've never heard from before. New to you. Then also we have the Honorable Peculiar Ram that will be reading the articles tonight. And so it's very special, folks, that the folks you're going to be hearing from, these stories are going to be very unique. These updates, these bank appointment updates are very, very unique. Then we're going to get into the articles. We're going to touch on the Iraq-Kurdistan oil agreement that I'm sure many of you are seeing go viral throughout the Narland. Then we're going to touch on an article from Iraq, confirmation that they're connecting internationally to the banking systems. They are doing exactly what they said they were going to do. We're going to show you proof. The last but not least, the last article we're going to touch on, you do not want to miss any part of this call tonight, but you especially do not want to miss the update, the last article on FOREX, where we're going to show you, as always, with receipts by Goldilocks, how FOREX is updating their systems with new currencies being added to the global banking system. Several of those currencies represent the countries for which many of you have currencies for. We're going to get into that. That'll be last but not least. Now let's get into what we all have become accustomed to, where our members, who are the actual receipts, folks, there is no, and I say this with the most gracious humility, there is no other community in Dinar land that has the receipts of the people that are able to share their updates, their success with the actual bankers, wealth managers, members, that whereby accounts are being set up, brokerage accounts are being set up for their exchanged funds to be deposited into. Agreements being solidified with their wealth managers for their wealth managers, the wealth management firms, to grow their wealth. Trust accounts being set up. Even wealth managers that are signing agreements to facilitate the exchange for some of our members based on the relationships now that those members are able to establish. We have members that wealth managers are taking them to lunch, to dinner, proposing to them. I'm just joking, but we all know who gets proposed to all the time in here. We have members that relationships with the founders of banks, president of banks. Folks, let me tell you, you hear all the time from the you-know-whos, the gurus, about high-level sources and contacts. The members in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room, they legitimately have real relationships, real contacts. So, without further ado, let's get into it. C and L's mom. We're going to come to you first, then we'll come to you, Charity and Peace, and then we'll come to you, KD. C and L's mom, can you come to the microphone, please, young lady?
Hi, Freedom Fighter.
How you doing? How you doing?
Good.
Oh, beautiful
How
lady.
are you doing?
Doing great. Folks, let me tell you something about this young lady. CNL's mom, for those of you who don't know, has been with us from the very beginning in the old room. She was one of the first, along with Brunette Grand, Glass Half Full, Golden Grasshopper, and a few others. Forgive me if I forget some names. In the very, 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 very beginning, like the first in the old room, that actually started to establish the relationships. Many of you don't hear about CNL's mom. She's not in the room chatting it up all the time. She's just doing her thing. But when she does come in, she drops her updates. But she's literally been there from the very beginning, from the old room. And here she is. And she has an amazing update that she's going to share with us. Did I get that right, young lady? Did I get that right?
Yes, perfectly right.
You remember in the old room, you were like literally one of the first 3 or 4 that jumped out and started this process. That was like a year and a half ago or so, maybe.
Yes, it was last year. That's right.
Wow.
Yep. And yeah, it's been quite a journey, and I can't thank you and Wiley, Goldilocks, Lady E, and all the ones who have shared their stories. It's so inspiring.
Yes. So bring us up to date on your amazing update. I know, and also, folks, I want to be very respectful. You still have my condolences, folks. The beautiful Cino's mom was supposed to be a guest on our show 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, her father passed away and she wasn't able to make it. So we ended up rescheduling for tonight. So our thoughts and prayers are still with you, beloved.
Thank you so much, Freedom Fighter. Thank you for everyone who has prayed for me. I know it has really sustained me. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, young lady, bring us up to date. You got some good stuff going on.
Okay, so in November, I reached out to the same tier 1 bank as before, but this time it was in a different location. It was in the city, an hour and 15 minutes from me. Okay, so I met with a relationship manager, and using the words that Wiley gave me, I said, I'm looking into a wealth manager, one who would be a good fit for me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I was talking to the relationship manager, and he was asking me questions, and he set up an appointment for me with the wealth manager. I was so happy. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the conversation, I asked him if I could email some questions to the wealth manager. And he said yes. And so he gave me his business card, and he gave me the wealth manager's business card. Okay, a few days before the appointment, I had to reach out to both of them. I wasn't feeling well. and I told them
Mm.
that I would reach out to them when I felt better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I felt better, I rescheduled the appointment, and when I arrived, the relationship manager was right there to greet me, and I was like, "Wow!"
Wow.
I know. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And he, took me right over.
Uh-huh.
I sat down. He wanted to know if I wanted something to drink. He said, "I'll
Uh-huh.
be right back to you after a few minutes," and he escorted
Yeah.
me right back to the wealth manager. And then
Wow.
not only that, he stayed there. So there were the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so I met the wealth manager and exchanged pleasantries. And then, as was said in the room, you be in charge. So I
Mm-hmm.
said to the wealth manager, let's start with the questions I emailed to you. I didn't ask them
Well,
myself.
right off the bat, you just jump right into it. Like, let's get to business.
I know, exactly. So remember, what everybody said. And, that really does give you a lot of confidence. It's like
Hmm.
they're working for us,
That's right.
like we're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And I also gave a copy of the questions to the relationship
Mm-hmm.
manager. I didn't want him to feel left out. Um,
Okay.
so I could tell right away. Now, the relationship manager, like right away, like a super bond,
Oh,
just
okay.
on the same page.
Uh-huh.
So that always made me feel, really confident,
Right.
really good, like on the same page. Okay,
Right.
so when I was talking to the wealth manager, I could tell right away he was being very cautious. Now,
Okay.
I know now from this tier one bank, I know why they're acting that way because you and Wiley explained that.
Mhm.
Okay, so he was really, like I said, he was really watching what he said. Okay, so because you and Wiley explained because of all the gurus sending all the people about the RV and everything, and what a
Right.
big mess.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I asked the wealth manager my questions and I took notes. Okay, these are some things that I really liked what he said. He said they
Okay.
have low turnover at this location.
Mhm.
He said they have about 14 or 15 advisors. They all work together.
Hmm.
He said they have an infinite platform that goes across the board as far as investment planning. And I was like, what?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, that was really good to hear. So he's a vice president of investments.
Uh-huh.
And he said I can call anytime. I have his cell number. When I asked him what a wealth for a wealth manager, what does he think the attributes of a great private wealth manager are? He said
Mhm.
communication and trust. And I
Mhm.
really liked
Mhm.
hearing that because I think,
Mhm.
those are really important.
Right.
Um, okay, so when I was done the questions, I said, I'm sure you have questions for me. And of course, he did. His first question was, what do you do for a living? So I told him my
Mhm.
full time job was being the guardian of my dad, who had end stage
Mhm.
dementia. And with that said, what what I say next, this is how the relationship started. Like you and Wiley have always said, you have to have a relationship.
Mhm.
Okay, so the wealth manager then went on to say that he and his wife were expecting their first child,
Mhm.
and even though, I mean, of course, they're very excited. It's the first grandchild on his wife's side and his side, but they've battled her having high blood pressure throughout the pregnancy, and that this month the baby would probably have to be born early and have to be in the hospital for a month. So
Mhm.
then that led to um, him talking about how he's a soccer coach and how important that is for him. He's a soccer coach for high school boys where he lives. Community is very important to him. And then I started
Mhm.
talking about how my daughter played lacrosse when she was in high school.
Mhm.
Um, so that really started, the relationship about,
Right.
you know, getting to know more and more, about each other. And
Right.
he was saying since he's a coach, he also uses that to coach his clients by helping
Uh-huh.
them and advising them. And I really liked hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
So then, okay, one thing I did before I went down there, I got a piece of paper and I put a diagram of like the trust I want to have,
Uh-huh.
the streams of income I want to have, and just
Mm-hmm.
other notes on there. And I gave him a copy and I gave the relationship manager a copy. And the
You were very
wealth
prepared. You were
manager,
very prepared.
I mean, he looked at it and then looked at me like I don't know what he was thinking, but he was just like I think he liked it.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, I brought up about trust, and right
Mm-hmm.
away he gave me 3 referrals, for people for trust.
Okay.
Um, then I mentioned that I had a trust, and right away the relationship manager jumped in and said, "If you email your trust to me, I will go through compliance to see if they'll approve it." And I said, "Oh, that would be
Uh-huh.
great."
Uh-huh.
So I didn't hear anything, but then it was Christmas, and then we're going into January, and I was thinking about calling him, but I was too busy with things. So then he called
Right.
me, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh my
Whoa.
gosh!"
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited. So he
Mm-hmm.
said, he left a voicemail, and no, actually, no, no, no. I had just been in a meeting for something for my dad, and he called and he said that um, the trust was approved and that he wanted to go to the next level. And I was like, he said that, I was like, I'm listening to him. I'm ready to pass out. And and he said, he wanted to set up an appointment to sign the paperwork for the trust. He set aside like 2 hours. And okay, so we set up the appointment and everything went great. I think it was there actually like 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And he spoke to me about everything with the trust, and
Mm-hmm.
was very diligent about making sure I understood everything, that was
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with everything. He went over all the savings accounts, the checking accounts, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything went great. I just received a debit card for the checking account for the trust the other day.
Wow.
So everything's set up and ready to go, and I just can't get over it. So once again, I could not have done any of this without you, Freedom Fighter, Wiley, Goldilocks, Lady E, all of our
Full
stars in our
tribe.
room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I feel like really I took all of you with me when I went to my appointment, the first one. So anyway, I'm just like, yeah, I'm so excited, but I'm not stopping there, just as
Right.
you had
You're gonna
suggested. And
diversify. Mm-hmm.
yes, so I am going to make an appointment here when I can with another tier 1 bank,
Okay.
and go from there. So
Awesome. Wow. Wow. I love it. And folks, if you hear what she just said, her account is set up with her trust. She got her debit card. When she exchanges her currency, if she just so happens to just want to take some money out after she exchanges with her debit card or make some, little purchases, whatever she wants to do, she has her debit card to do it.
And I know what you said. Don't spend too much. You're absolutely right, because I know
Yes.
just make money off the principal.
Yes, but it's beautiful because you have the wealth management team in place that you're going to be structured. Let me get Wiley in here. Wiley, if you want to jump in here, what do you think
Yeah,
about this? My Lord.
I love that she's our little late night tribe member that comes in and kind of catches
Mm-hmm.
up, and I'll
On
be
the
her
late
like
night creep.
host. Yeah, she's in there doing her thing because she's busy during the day. But
Mm-hmm.
I've never spoke to you. You've never really come in and needed anything. Congratulations for just taking the knowledge and information and go making it applicable to you. And if I could ask, were you prepared to use the trust, or did you just go create it because you thought you needed it, not really know what you were going to do with it? And how surprised were you that it cleared compliance and just moved forward for you and all the explanations for it? I'm sure that was very uplifting to kind of hear, because a lot of them have been to be redone or just start over with. So yours is kind of the first I've heard that went straight through.
Um, yeah, I've had it for a couple years. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that it was there and it was ready to go, I never thought they would approve it. When he told me it was approved, I just couldn't get over it. So yeah, it was just knowing that it was set up and everything's ready to go. I
And
was
now
just
you're able to
amazed.
use it, get structured through it, and everything, and have your
Mm-hmm.
cards in hand. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. Yeah, keep
Mhm.
going. Just keep taking that knowledge. Keep building. You're going to be successful. You don't need Freedom Fighter and Wiley. You really don't. You've
Thank
got it.
you.
You
Yeah.
chipped away the rough edges.
Yeah.
You're well on your
Yes.
way.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. And Wiley, I really like reading all your notes. Like I'm in Investopedia all the time. So thank you for all of that.
Not only there, but sign up to Kiplinger's free newsletters. Lots of great information in there that comes to your email box daily. Little tips, tricks, retirement tips and tricks you can use for yourself. All kinds of little good things in there. You just go to their website, click on the free ones you want. Great wealth of knowledge that's right to your email.
Thank you. I will. Thank you for
Beautiful.
everything, both of you.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Beautiful.
Great
Congratulations.
job.
Yeah.
I love hearing from her, Freedom Fighter. She's been our
Hmm.
little late night owl in the room, because you know what I
Yep.
mean. And
Yep.
she's just gone and done this from the success stories she heard, and just took the information and did it. And I
Hmm.
love that. I love that people are able to just go do that.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, it means we're doing something
It's
right. It means the tribe's
exactly.
doing it right. We're making sure everybody has the ability to go do this, no matter where you're
Hmm.
at in this journey.
Hmm.
The ability's there if you step forward to do it.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm going to ask you, CNL's mom, a very poignant question because regarding your trust, because there's going to be another member that's going to share their story here shortly. I think I know the answer to your question, to my question. Is it a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust?
It's revocable.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I'm sure you're going to have other updates when you move forward with other wealth managers that you're going to interview, because although you've done a tremendous job with this relationship, it's even prepared you even more so for your next interviews when you interview other wealth managers as well.
Yes, that's right.
Awesome. Congratulations, young
Yeah,
lady. We're so excited.
was
Thank you
this with
so
the
much.
was this with the tier one bank, or did you go direct to a wealth management firm? I don't know if I caught that.
It was tier one.
It's with
Yeah.
the tier one entity. Okay, thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't catch it,
All
so thank you.
right. Mhm.
Lovely.
All right, young
I love
lady.
those stories.
Yeah, man. That is wow. And Wiley, she's been here from the very, 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 very
From the
beginning.
get go. Yeah, because I was like,
Yes.
well, who's liking my post at 2, 3 a.m.?
That's her. That's her.
Oh yeah, yeah. I recognize her late night stalking through the room. I see it.
I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because now look where she's at, Wally, where her late night, creeping in the room and reading and following, lurking, and just look how she's completely set up. And if other folks can just use her as an example of what she did, it's just amazing. I
And that's
don't
a
know what else to
remarkable
say.
thing. She never came to Mere Freedom for anything. She
Mm-mm.
just took the
Nope.
knowledge that was there, went and applied it, and look how
Mm-hmm.
successful she's become. I mean,
Yeah.
she's never DM'd me, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations. When I heard you were done, I'm like, what? What do you mean done? She didn't even talk to us. She just comes, stalks in the room, and then runs off. I'm like, I love it though,
Yeah.
because it means what we're doing is right. It means that
Yeah.
that tool is applicable to anybody
Mm-hmm.
and everybody who just wants to apply it.
Right. That's right.
Yes.
That's
And
right.
anybody can be a success. But
That's right.
kudos to you for CNL. You applied it, you went and did it, you used the questions to your benefit, and I like the fact that you had the self-fortitude just to go apply it and
Mm-hmm.
to see for yourself, hey, I'm going to do this for myself. And look where you are. You are so set. All you have to do is just walk through, and
That's it.
things are structured and ready.
That's it.
Thank
Yeah.
you both so much.
You're
You just
welcome.
helped me do it all.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right, beautiful. Hold tight. We got an amazing call we're gonna get through. So just hang tight.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Next, ladies and gentlemen, if you just click the link at the top of the description, for those of you listening on YouTube, you can join CNL's mom. Well, she's late night. You won't be able to join her. She's 2, 3 in the morning, unless you're in another country, somewhere, different time zone. But you can join the tribe. You can have the same progress, success, your account set up, whatever it may be with the wealth manager and the banks. If she can do it, anyone can do it. Folks, now we're going to bring forth Charity and Peace. If you can unmute, I owe Charity and Peace a huge apology. Early in the room, I'm talking about, hey, young lady, and all this crazy stuff. And he's like, I'm a man. So I'm like, all right, old man. Charity and Peace, if you can unmute, let's get you on to the mic. Let's get you out here. If you can do it, if you can do it. Charity and Peace, I see you. You just need to unmute. I'm going to have to get your sister, Cookie Monster, to help you. In fact, Cookie Monster, if you can unmute as well, I wanted to bring you both on. Charity and Peace and Cookie Monster are brother and sisters. And I thought I saw Cookie Monster, and Cookie with a K, I believe. There you go. Cookie Monster, you can unmute. I bet she get it, and her brother don't. Uh-oh. Cookie Monster's not able to unmute. Oh, there we go. There you go. My man. Let me tell you, I apologize. I have to apologize to you. I thought you were a woman in the room. I'm like, Chat, because I went to high school with a girl named Charity, so I'm thinking, oh, this is Charity and Peace.
Yeah. I appreciate you, though.
You said, hold on. You said, Freedom, I'm a man. My wife just found out that I'm a woman. We got a problem.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. How y'all doing today, man? How y'all
doing well. You know what? I really wanted you to share your update with folks, because folks, Charity and Peace is at the beginning stages of the process, the beginning steps. Where many of you hear the updates from our members, you normally hear where they're in the middle of their process, second, third, fourth meetings, or like with CNL's mom at the end, and they've completed and are ready just for the RV to happen. But it's also good to hear folks like Charity and Peace who are at the beginning, because just like CNL's mom and all the other members you've heard that are complete, they had to start somewhere, and we followed them through the process, through the steps. So here we have Charity, and we're going to follow you, Charity and Peace. We're going to follow you through the steps and through the process, because what I would love, and I'm sure Wally feels the same, is in short time, whenever it may be, that you end up like CNL's mom or the other members, where you're completely set. Your wealth manager is in place that you've decided to go along with, your account set up, your debit cards in the mail, whatever it may be, and you're totally, completely ready for the RV. Does that make sense to you, my good man?
Yes, sir. That makes sense.
Now, you, I believe you are at the step. You are at the steps where you're going to be sending the Wiley questions shortly, correct?
So, we have sent those already.
You sent them already. Okay, got it. So you have the Tier 1 bank. They presently exchange currency, and you already sent the questions to the wealth manager. Now, I don't recall you being in the room for quite some time. When did you join?
All right, so that's actually the cool thing about this whole journey. So my family and I, we were introduced to the opportunity years ago.
Okay.
I'm talking like 2009.
Okay.
You know what I mean? By a friend of the family that had, he was an older gentleman that had participated, I guess, when it happened in Kuwait.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
He said he wanted to help people out, get them out of debt and all this stuff. And he just told us to hold on to it and just wait. So we've been
Okay.
waiting for quite some times, and like you
Mhm.
like to call it, we heard a lot of the guru foo that you like to call it.
Right.
We've heard so much of it for so
Right.
long.
Right.
And when my sister and my lady told me about you guys, I was like, "Are you sure?" You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I was like, "Are you sure?" Because
Hmm.
I had talked to a banker at one time because I was one of those that went in not knowing better, but I
Hmm.
had got a positive reaction. They had actually told me, yeah, they knew what it was,
Hmm.
but they wasn't able to help me at the time. And I said,
Hmm.
okay. So I technically joined y'all probably like late December, early January,
Wow. Okay.
and yeah, and soon as I started hearing about it, 'cause my little sister had already set up an appointment, and I'm like,
Ah.
oh, okay, let me reach out, and I reached out, and Wally was kind enough to send me the list of the 8 questions,
Yeah.
and we started right there. We went in, they first
Hmm.
introduced us. It was to the it wasn't the, it was just the advisor, financial advisor. That's who it was at
Okay.
first.
Okay.
And I'm really straightforward. I'm like, yeah, you're not the one I need to talk to, but we need to talk to the wealth manager.
Right.
And he was really nice, really kind. He introduced
Uh-huh.
us to the guy above him
Okay.
was the CFP or
Okay.
resource guy, and he
Hmm.
was really nice. He
Hmm.
of course they tried to see what we were doing, where it was coming from,
Okay.
and we didn't disclose that, of course, like you guys
Right.
said not to. And we
Yep.
actually got to meet the wealth manager.
Okay.
So we're at the stage where we met the wealth manager. We've sat down, talked to them,
Hmm.
and he just sent us a list. I mean, a questionnaire, I guess, a get to know you questionnaire to try
Right.
to figure out what assets and other things we may have.
Hmm.
That's where we at right now.
Right. And I guess I believe in the room earlier we sort of touched on what how you can respond to that questionnaire, right? I think we
Yes,
did
sir.
earlier. Okay.
You
Okay.
told you was
And
telling me you don't want to disclose certain things. Yes, sir.
right. And I believe was your sister in the meeting with you, or who was in the meeting with you?
Yeah, it was my sister. We started off in the meetings together, and then they also told us
Nice.
that we can also do it separately if we have our own individual goals.
Right, 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 right. Beautiful, beautiful. And I believe you mentioned that your mom and your significant other and others are all in this with you. It's like a family affair, right?
Everybody in the family got their own.
That's awesome. That's
Yes, sir.
awesome. And I would love Cookie Monster if you can, if she's able to unmute. I'll have you both on briefly, and we'll just say hello. And it's I don't know if she's shy, but if she raised her hand, but might not be able to unmute like you did. I thought you weren't going to be able to do it then.
Let me go to
Uh,
the permissions and do it through the permissions. Let me unmute it. That's what I have to
okay,
do. Yes,
okay,
sir.
awesome, awesome. But so if she's able to get on, fine. If not, then that's okay. She might not be able to follow your lead on into permissions. But let me ask you, what would you say is the difference between what you've been able to learn in our room versus what you learned before?
Well,
In,
to
o-
be quite
in other
honest,
places.
man, quite honest, you guys haven't I haven't heard
You kind
anything that
of
y'all
up
have.
there. Can you repeat that?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I said everything that you guys have spoke about and y'all put it in the chat, like it's receipts on everything. So when
Right.
I was hearing from everything, it was always promised dates. What's going
Mm-hmm.
to happen here, it's going to happen there. Like I said, I've been going through that since like '09, '10. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of became numb to it. So when we first heard about you guys, I was like, sure. And then I started seeing like, okay, what they're saying is lining up.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you got the receipts to back it up. So I was like, well, all right, I'm all in on Goldilocks and the tribe. So that's how it's been for us. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me get Wiley in here. Wiley, you want to chime here, my good man? And
Nah, man, you're doing great, Charity and Peace.
Mhm.
When you get in there and you really want to be able to kind of gauge numbers a little bit,
Mm.
delve into that $1 million question that's on the list. If you gave that man $1 million, how would he diversify it? Because that's going to tell you very quickly, because you can start doubling that up and kind of figure out where you might land just on a basis. And that kind of tells you whether he's going to be able to work with you and really knows what he's doing with the money. And that comes with some seasoning too, but that just kind of shores up a little bit. But don't be afraid to throw some other questions there at him. I always say have a couple other pocket questions in your back pocket that you can kind of throw
Mm.
out to bring them back to the topic if they kind of get off topic on you a little bit and want to know where Well, where are these assets from again? Always be ready to pepper him with a question to bring him back where you want to be.
Okay. Appreciate that. And we did throw that question out there to him if we gave him a few $1 million, what he would do with it. And the first thing they said, because the way their institution have it structured is like a team of them that's going to help you out.
Okay.
And they had said, well, first of all, we need y'all to know that we work for you. This is your money, and we can attack it as aggressively as you want. We can do it moderately. And I told them how, we would like to live off the interest, and we don't want to mess with the principal and things like that. And, their eyebrows kind of went up a little bit. And so so he was saying, like, once we finish out this questionnaire, which I know they're digging a little bit, they said they'll be able to gauge and get the plan together a little bit more. And
They're
I think
trying to understand your risk thresholds, what they're trying to do. Are you like Patricia? You like fast and sexy, or do you want to be like Debo and you just want to be, if it's free, it's for me type, and it's good for her because she wants guaranteed returns? That's what they're trying to gauge you on there. So
got you.
yeah.
Okay, I really appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. No problem. And feel free. We are here for you as a tribe. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Feel free to come on in the room and ask what you need to ask for us to help guide you along the way. If it's not me, if it's not Wiley, you have a whole tribe of people who are where you want to be and ready and set for the RV. They're there, all in the room, waiting for you to help you out if you need it. We're all there.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. All right. Next, we have the one and only KD. If you can unmute, saw you, K. There you go. KD.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's an honor to finally hear your voice. You set the room on fire earlier. You set the room on fire a couple of weeks ago with all these amazing long updates. You are very detailed, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, you don't leave no room for error at all.
I do my best, and when I did try and correct it quickly. I'm very calculated.
I can tell.
Just like Antonio, sniper.
Oh, Antonio is a sniper, Mr. Methodical for sure. Yes. I mean, I'm going to summarize this for folks. Folks, KD, his update is very. I'm gonna try to summarize it. KD, I may need you to help me to summarize your update.
Okay, you got it.
Put my hat on, because I love your update so much. I'm going to get to the part, maybe to the end of today, because you started with your updates a couple of weeks ago. I actually, believe it or not, I saved all of your posts.
Oh, wow.
I did. I saved. I have a file because they're so long, and I wanted to go through them so that I can see your progression. So it made sense today. So, folks, this young man, he was able to establish his relationship. He went in to meet with the wealth manager, and he actually thought he screwed up. He thought that he didn't follow our advice to the T. Remember, he's very detailed. He's very methodical. And I was able to tell that based on how he posts in the room, in the details of his post. I mean, you can see he's like a perfectionist. So one little thing I can tell, if he feels as if he made a mistake, he's by the book, pretty much. He's by the book. And he thought that he made a mistake in his process because there was something that he said in the meeting, but he kind of cleaned it up and ended up having a conversation with the wealth manager about foreign currency. Am I right or wrong?
You are right.
So, but what KD did in his meeting with the wealth manager, he brought it up, but he was very methodical about how he brought it up. He mentioned emerging market currencies, where, KD, you're probably not aware, but Wiley several weeks ago and has even shared that it's intelligent to even mention emerging markets because that's what these currencies are. We've had members that mentioned emerging markets because that's what these currencies are, even though emerging markets is not listed in the steps and whatnot that we share. That's what they are. But the difference with you and maybe someone else that probably should not mention it is that you are so methodical and detailed. You were able to establish a good enough relationship with this wealth manager that you mentioned it and he rolled with it and your meeting was fine. The result was fine. Am I right or wrong?
You are right. You are right. I did mention emerging market economies and didn't say currency until my last meeting.
Because he knew what you were saying.
He knew what I was saying. He couldn't say anything. They cannot say things. And I actually pointed that out to him in the last meeting. I go, I know there's things you can't say.
Uh-huh. Now, what I would like for you to do is now, based on the premise that I summarized it, I would love for you to go into what he can't say, but I would like for you to sort of start from the beginning of your meeting, bring us up to speed on that, and even some of the things you shared with me in DM, if you can share openly, of course, without the names of the banks, and which, folks, this young man is actually connected to the same banks that other tier 1 banks that other members are. And also, unbeknownst to you, KD, you mentioned some private wealth management firms in DM, and there's other members that are completely locked in with those private wealth management firms too. I didn't tell you that in DM. I'm telling you that now. So
thank you. That's good to know. That's good to know.
You're welcome. So if you can bring us up to speed on the great meeting that you had, although you thought it wasn't great, but you did a great job.
Yes, my second meeting, they asked about certain things. They want to do the questionnaire and finish up the steps. So we got to the steps, and he brought up the questionnaire, and I was like, "Oh my God, here we go! It's coming!" And so name, rank, serial number, and and he goes, "And if you don't have any more questions," I go, "Well, I do have some questions, but let's do that. Let's do the questionnaire. Name, rank, serial number." And then I interrupted him when he got to the assets. And I diverted his attention to some of the things on my list. And I went down the list and I brought up, oh, by the way, do you guys do brokerage accounts? Because, I like to hear about FOREX, and I know you guys can't do anything with crypto, and I like to do those things. So I kind of tried to drop a hint on him there. And he turned his screen and showed me the options. And I says, oh, great, thanks for explaining it. And do you have any more questions? I says, no. So we got back to the form and assets and da-da-da. And I go, well, you know what? I can't divulge that right now, but I'd be more than happy to give that to you if I choose you guys to go forward with.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Do you have any more questions? Sure. I went down my list and I go, oh, you got this question here, this question here. And, okay, now what about your assets? The team that I'm going to set you up with, they want me to fill out this questionnaire. And I go, I'm sorry, I cannot give you that information right now, but I'll be more than happy to give you everything if I choose you guys. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, fair enough. Like, I said, I hope you can respect that. He goes, I do. Mm-hmm. So more questions. And then I tried to lead him in again. And I go, I have invested some things in, some of the emerging market economies around the world. Mm-hmm. And he goes, like what? And I go, well, like Venezuela. Mm-hmm. I pause and I go, Vietnam, Iran, and a couple others. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So do you have any more questions, he says? And I go, we covered this, we covered that, we covered this. No, we're good. And so he went to the questionnaire again. Can you give me anything? And I go, you know what? I cannot. I am so sorry, I cannot. And I dropped a couple dimes on him, hoping he'd pick up on it. I thought I blew it. But at the end of the meeting, he goes, I'm really looking forward to helping you and your wife out with these little projects you were mentioning, and I look forward to talking to you soon. I was like, oh, whew, thank God. So I scheduled another meeting. By the way, that meeting got cut in half because the first half of it I had to leave on a family emergency. So
Right. Remember you
yeah.
mentioned
And so anyway, but we got along great. You know, he had so many things in common with me, and I was trying to establish the relationship. He's half my age, and I was like, God, this guy. And he even offered me a free surfing lesson, and I was like, this is great. Yeah, I'll take you up on that. And so
man.
I emailed him afterwards, thanking him and saying I was looking forward to the meeting with the Western region planner, or whoever it was, that he said he's going to set me up with. And I waited for his response, and he said, the planning people told me I can't go through with it unless they give me more details on where this money's coming from, blah, 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 blah. And I said, and I came to you guys and I asked you what I should say, and I knew what you were going to say. And I says, I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to give you that information right now. And he said, okay, I can respect that. Where we're going to go moving forward. And this was all by email.
Okay.
And so I came to the room and I asked you guys, and I turned it back on him. And I says, okay, you tell me you're the pro. I'm open to learn. Let me know what you want to do. And he came back with a letter, saying, I'm confident we can take care of you, blah, blah, blah. Call your private banker to set up accounts. And if you have any brokerage accounts, I can help you with those when you retire. So anyway, I was like, okay, great. Sounds good. And so I went and saw him a couple of days ago. And we talked for a good 20 minutes on getting to know each other again. And I shared some really personal things with him, which opened him up to share some very personal things as well. So the connection got deeper, which was very important. And in fact, at one point, he closed the door because it was pretty personal information.
Right.
But it was all good. And he got down to business, telling me, what they could do for me moving forward on the wealth plan. And he went over all the scenarios, what they invest in, this and that, and da-da-da-da. And, certain propriety things that they offer and la. And I was like, oh, so when do we go to when can we meet the planner? Oh, we can't do that until, we get liquid, And I was like, oh, okay. And so I asked him a question again. I told, hey, so what about brokerage accounts? And am I able to set one of those up? Are those on the retail or are they on the private bank side? And he goes, the private bank. And I go, okay, that's good. It's good to know. And I was like, I mentioned to you, I dropped a couple dimes on you on the meeting, and I thought you'd pick up, what I was trying to give you. And, he was deadpan face. And, and I go, I mentioned some of my investments, and it felt right. And I was just, I told you about some other countries I invested in. He goes, yes, Venezuela and Vietnam. And I go, I'm going to tell you, man. I go, I have foreign currencies in those markets. He goes, you do? You do? And I go, yeah. And he goes, wow. And how did you get those? And I go, I bought some at your bank a couple of years ago and some on eBay. And, how much do you think you spent on those? So I gave him a number, and then he looked up the current rate on it and figured out how much I probably had. And he goes, you have this amount? You have this? And I go, yeah. I got some on me too, if you want to see it. He goes, you do? And I go, yeah, it's got some on my card. And he goes, what about the Venezuela? How much do you think you got there? I go, I don't know. It's denominations. They do all these weird things, 3 different series and this and that. And I gave him a huge number. And so he looked on his computer and, just deadpan face and nodded his head. And so we went, and I go, if you want to see him, I can go and get him. No, let's finish up the wealth plan. So we went through the wealth plan, and he goes, I can always see him at the end. I come out and look at him, and you're my last client anyway. And so we finished up. I thanked him, and we shared some more stories, and walked him out to my car, and showed him what I had, and he looked at him, and I was like, you ever seen anything like that? And he's like, no. And I'm like, you're lying. But, they can't say. So anyway, he goes, and in the meeting, he goes, do you actually hold this, or is it like in a digital form? And I go, no, I hold it. It's in a safe location at a bank. And so anyway, that was it. And he did want to see my 401k. I didn't bring it in on purpose because I knew it was a brokerage account. If I couldn't get him to set one up, I could always go back and fly in the back door and get a brokerage account set up that way. I don't recommend this to the new people. I recommend you follow the steps exactly because it works, and you won't run into the little issues I have that I was able to correct correctly by way of the truth from Goldilocks, Freedom Fighter, Wiley, and all the leaders I've been following for years. But I finally got some time off work. I usually work 60 hours a week, 6 days a week, and I got some time off work to pull the trigger on the 10th of this month. And worst case scenario, he said, I can set your brokerage account up. You just call me and let me know. He goes, when your values change, whenever that may be, a month, whenever, when your values change on your investment, you just call me. Set up the brokerage account. And I go, what about the wealth plan? He goes, I could have that approved in 2 or 3 days. So, I thought I blew it, and so last week when I thought I blew it, I was like, oh, my dad told me don't put your eggs in one basket. So I got it. I started shooting off emails, and I connected with 2 trust companies, and I have Zoom calls with them next week. And I got, the wealth management arm of a major bank, and I bypassed the retail, and I went straight to the wealth management. They're like, how did you get my number? They thought I was some big dog trying to shop them. Because of Wiley's questions. Thank you, Wiley. Thank you so much. Because of Wiley's questions, they're like, we got to do our due diligence. We don't know who you are.
Right.
And I was like, sure. I mean, I'm just an average Joe. Okay. And I had them laughing on the phone today. So I have appointments next week, one in person and one on a Zoom with the wealth management arm of the bank.
Beautiful.
Bank as well. So, I'm prepared to see what else is out there. I do want to thank you, Freedom Fighter, and Wiley, and all the leaders in the room, because I've read everybody's experience, and it gave me the courage and the strength and the experience to go through once I got time to do it. So thank you all so very, very much.
You're welcome. Let's get Wiley in here. Now it's a perfect segue. Wiley, what you think about this?
Man,
Oops.
that's great. Yeah.
He's like,
KD, Freedom shared some of your DMs with me. Definitely some of those big standalone, big box wealth management companies you listed. Do diversify. Talk to them. It'll be very advantageous to you. Way to correct, stumble and make it right. And you really kind of did a nice job at it. Way to recover from that. But I have some deja vu of Bambi a little bit. You knew where you wanted to go, and you were doing everything you could to get there, but he just wasn't picking up on it. You know what I mean? Because Bambi was very methodical. It sounded like you were kind of methodical where you wanted to go, but it wasn't quite working, and you felt you stumbled. But you actually did a great job. I wouldn't recommend exactly that way, but you did great.
No, I wouldn't recommend it either. And I do thank Bambi. I listened to her experience along the way and all your guidance as well. And thank you so much for the questions.
Yeah, and the questions seem so mundane when you look at them. Like, oh, yeah, I should have known to ask that. Yeah, I should have known to ask that. But when a wealth manager sees that to somebody not seasoned walking in the door, they seem like it's a seasoned person who's done this number of times coming forward, asking those questions. So for those out there on the fence, those questions are your equalizer to get your foot in the door. Getting your foot in the door is 50%. All you have to do is put forth the other 50%, and you're gonna strike gold. I guarantee it. Nurture the relationship, and it's going to be a winning combination for you.
Thank you, Wiley. Thank you, Freedom Fighter.
Thank you, KD.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. It's amazing, KD, because if people didn't hear anything, they missed it. You were able to, you thought you fumbled a little bit, but you recovered. And the walk away is that you learn. See, just the fact, like Wiley was saying, you took the steps. Just the fact that you did, and you're very methodical. One thing, many things you learned from this wealth manager, but one of the things that you learned that a lot of people listening to this would love to hear, just so that in case they missed it, is that you have confirmation from this gentleman, this wealth manager. He's aware, without saying it explicitly. He's ready when you are, when the RV happens.
Yes, sir. That's right. He didn't say when it happened. He didn't say if it happens. He did say when it happens. When the values change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Freedom? I love what KD did with one thing. He tuned in on the word we kept saying, emerging markets. I know
Emerging
you've
markets,
dropped it in
yeah.
some Saturday night calls. I've been dropping it in the room a little bit when we talk about this, because that's a key word you can use without saying, and they know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They do. And I told them the 20-year growth rate of Vietnam, and I also told them Venezuela has one of the highest.
You've been student.
Yeah, I told him, I go, did you know Venezuela has one of the highest in-ground assets in the world? He's like, no, really? I was like, yeah. I'm sure he'll go look it up. Anyways, thank you all.
No,
You're welcome.
He's probably going on the internet buying himself some currency, KD.
Right. You're not going to believe it. I told my wife that same thing, Wiley.
And Wiley, you know what I found to be very interesting. I like this. The wealth manager told Kitty that this was his last meeting, and he walked with him out to the car.
Yeah,
I love it, because this wealth manager really is intrigued with you, KD.
Yeah,
he is.
Very intrigued.
I was secretive in my word choices and kept him, bouncing around. So,
yeah. That's
what I love about tonight's stories and all the stories we hear. Everyone is different in their own.
Yeah.
But they've used the steps to get where they need to be, and they personalized it enough to get where they need to be, and they're all building these beautiful relationships, all different, but all striving towards the same thing. And that's to have somebody assist them on the other side of all of this so they can be successful.
That's right. Wow. It's beautiful. It's so exciting to hear all these stories, these amazing updates. And KD, you did a phenomenal job, man.
Yeah. Way to take a little falter and spin it back and get back on your feet again and to keep moving forward, because that's what it's going to take. You could have folded, walked out, and had those jitters, and you would have had to muster up some new courage to go back in again, but you switched it right there on him and kept going. Kudos.
Thank you both. Thank you for your guidance and your leadership.
You're welcome. Our pleasure. Keep up the great work, and the tribe is here for you. Whatever you need, we got your back, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. We got some great updates coming. So let's get into these amazing articles. Peculiar Ram, come to the mic, please. You have the honor, the honorable Peculiar Ram.
Why, thank you.
You trying to sound all sophisticated? No,
I was trying to sound bourgeois. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. What you think about these updates you just heard, young lady?
It was amazing. I love to hear like the beginner stories. I don't know, because it's just so much fire and like so much like it's like watching people get over the first day jitters is so exciting, because I was there. And to see like they like taking they first step is like huge. It's not baby steps. They're not taking baby steps. They're going straight in. So it excites me. I love to hear those kind of stories,
Yes. Now we have some articles tonight that are going to blow your socks off. Hope you don't have no holes in those socks, but if you do, we're going to blow them off. We're first, folks, just so that the first article is the information. It's absolutely related to the Iraq Kurdistan oil agreement that many of you are hearing about. I'm going to say this. Today is, for the record, today is February the 22nd, 2025, Saturday. Next Saturday is March the 1st, 2025. March the 1st, 2025, next Saturday. I'm going to briefly bring this conversation up again about the Kurdistan oil agreement, because it's going to be relevant when I mention it next Saturday. But for now, I'm going to say this regarding this Iraq Kurdistan oil agreement. No, let's just jump right into it. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. Let's get to the information we're going to provide. I'm going to drop some information right into the room, folks that are that'll be listening on YouTube. The articles, the information that I'm going to share will be in the description. If you so choose to see the proof of the receipts that we are going to share with everyone. But this is going to be very eye-opening to many of you in regards to the Iraq Kurdistan oil deal. Now, I'm going to read this first screenshot, and this is Goldilocks. Goldilocks didn't put the copyright on it, didn't make comments on it, just posted this regarding the Iraq Kurdistan oil agreement. Goldilocks shared an article. I'm going to read it, and this is from Baghdad. Kurdistan media revealed that oil exports from the Kurdistan region of Iraq will resume within 48 hours. There's a quote, signing an agreement regarding the export of oil in the Kurdistan region of Iraq tonight or tomorrow and sending it to Turkey to resume the sale of oil, end quote. A joint chamber from Baghdad and Erbil will supervise the sale of oil in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. Peculiar Ram, what's the date of this article that Goldilocks posted?
April 1st, 2023.
April the 1st, 2023, folks. This, I know that many of you have become accustomed to Goldilocks sharing things in advance that are going to happen before they happen. So you're probably thinking this is it. Actually, it's not. It is, but it's not. Now, and then I'm going to elaborate. Now, I'm going to read the next that Goldilocks shared. Again, Goldilocks didn't make any comments. There's no copyright of Goldilocks. So therefore, Goldilocks just posted an article. And it reads, Iraq's pursuit of a unified oil law since 2017 is seen as steps towards national unity, but may threaten Kurdistan's semi-autonomous status. I'm going to skip through. The new oil law controlled from Baghdad is intended to manage all oil and gas production in Iraq, consolidating power and possibly marking a shift away from the Western energy dominance. So this is with the oil agreement. Kurdistan, autonomous status. What's the date of this post by Goldilocks? Peculiar Ram?
November 7th, 2023.
November the 7th, 2023. Folks, then there's a screenshot that we shared showing the same information and then the actual link to the article from 2023 regarding the Iraq Kurdistan oil agreement. Folks, the way that and I say this, I'm going to try to say this with the utmost humility. A way that you can know that if a guru or anyone on the internet is claiming, if the way for you to know that they have no clue about the RV is that they are telling you that the rate of the Iraqi dinar will change from this agreement with Kurdistan. Anyone that is telling you the rate will change in the budget as a result of the Iraq Kurdistan oil agreement, I'm just going to say humbly, they may not know what they're saying. They may have good intentions. They probably mean well. They just don't know that this is a big nothing burger about the Kurdistan. The RV does not happen from. This is strictly about the budget agreement. Within their budget, there's a percentage of the share of the Kurdistan and the Baghdad, which is the capital, the oil agreement. This is something that has already been approved in the what's called the tripartite budget, which is from 2023 to 2026, a 3-year budget. When's the date of this article? 2023. All this is this is what you're hearing is a big nothing burger, and I want to say this because I want people to be grounded in facts, and we have the receipts. It's a big nothing burger. In fact, not only is it a big nothing burger about the Iraq Kurdistan oil agreement. Again, the RV is not coming from this. It's a nothing burger with a big fat stale bun. And it's not 100% beef, the burger. It's weasel meat.
Oh my
It's
God.
all it is. That's all it is weasel meat. This means nothing related to the RV, folks. Today is February the 22nd, 2025. March the 1st, next Saturday. I'm going to ask you, what happened to the RV? It's not going to be there from this, folks. This has absolutely nothing. And this call, of course, is being recorded. I'm on record of telling you this means nothing. A quick, surefire way to know. And there's people on Twitter, gurus, millennial gurus, and other nipple suckers that are giving people the impression, tagging other people about the Kurdistan oil agreement in Iraq. Oh my God, this is it. Let's go. Blah, 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 blah. All these emojis, fire emojis. It's a nothing burger. Weasel meat burger with stale bun. Stay grounded in the facts, folks. And I'm telling you, I do not mind saying this on the right. I've said it before. Here you have what Goldilocks is sharing from 2023 about the Kurdistan oil agreement with Baghdad. It's just an agreement an agreement that they agree on the percentage of oil shares in the exports. In fact, Goldilocks shared about the exports to Turkey last year and the year before. Just as a FYI, nothing related to the RV. I truly believe a lot of people that are sharing this stuff and tagging each other on Twitter and talking about this, they truly mean well. They just don't know well. You've heard some folks like KD, you just heard from. He's very methodical. He reads. He's diligent. I'm sure Charity and Peace the same way. We know C and L's mom, late night creep, reading everything. If you were able to read the facts, read what's being posted, you will know. What I noticed is like on Twitter and other places, these big taglines about the Kurdistan oil agreement, and everyone is sharing it. It's going viral. But now you have some of the team members that were promoting each other on Twitter now questioning. These gurus are questioning each other, giving each other sort of a slap of the face about what they're posting. They're all confused, and they're confusing the people that are following. Again, they may not know well. They may really mean well. Stay grounded in facts. So I'm just shared with you from 2023, the same thing that was just posted about their agreement, and everyone is up in arms about the Iraq Kurdistan oil agreement. So 2023. All this is, folks, is and this is the amendment in the budget about this agreement. All they did was agreed to an amendment of the shares. Now, and folks are up in arms about the salaries being paid in Kurdistan. Folks, this is nothing new. This is normal with Iraq. It's how they do business. It's culture. But unfortunately, many of you who may be listening to this, you believe what you hear because it sounds exciting, and we want it to be truth. You want it because your hope is so high, and that's great. But allow your hope to be in facts where you can actually, you all have so much intelligence. You have the God-given ability and discernment to actually read. You may not feel like you can comprehend anything what you read, but God gives you discernment. Feel free to ask questions when people are posting these things. Ask them questions about what they're saying about the Kurdistan oil region. If you don't know what to ask anything. Just like when we tell folks to go out and meet with wealth managers, ask questions. Take control. Don't just believe what you hear. March the 1st, next Saturday, I'm going to bring it up. Actually, I want to thank the gurus. I want to thank you all for consistently saying the things that you say every week and every weekend, because it's doing a tremendous job of allowing people to wake up when they hear the truth from the Goldilocks team. People are really at a point now where they can compare, like Charity and Peace mentioned earlier. He was so used to the Guru Fufu since 2009. His sister and family introduced him to our channel. Boom. Now he's on his way, establishing his relationships with the actual people that's going to help him exchange his currency and manage his wealth. So I want to thank you, gurus. I want sincerely thank you. You are playing the part that God has actually allowing you to play, because people are at a point now where they want the truth, because the truth is being presented from Goldilocks and the team. So thank you, gurus. Appreciate you. All right. Now, young lady, folks, this is the Nothing Burger. Now let's get to what's real. The real, where's the beef? Instead of that weasel meat in the burger, Nothing Burger, let's get to what's real, the facts about the RV and how it's transpiring. And let's get to the receipts that we will show you that you can go back and vet yourself. All right. You ready, young lady?
I am.
All right. Let's rock and roll. I know I'm probably hurt some feelings here tonight, but truth needs to be told. And actually, people are at a point where they're appreciating the truth, and we're going to continue to bring it with these receipts. 2023, Iraq, Kurdistan did the same thing. Where was the RV in 2024? 2023. Because this is not where it comes from, folks. All right, now we're going to talk about what's actual coming from real with receipts with Iraq, and Iraq connected to international banking systems. This is something that Goldilocks was preparing us to show for the last almost 2 years that was going to happen, that by the end of the year. And now here is the confirmation directly from Iraq that they have connected. And now what this is going to connect to the FOREX article, that's going to be our last one, which it's a sneaky secret bombshell that we're going to show you in the last one. That's actually the last article regarding Forex that's actually connected to this article from Iraq. Okay, young lady, let's get right into it.
The Central Bank of Iraq has announced the successful transition of external transfers from an electronic platform to direct operations by Iraqi banks through their international correspondent banks. Iraq's central bank has expanded foreign transfer options for Iraqi banks to international standards. This includes allowing banks to use more currencies and to directly handle transfers through correspondent banks.
Okay, 1 second, beloved. So what this is telling you, folks, is that Iraq has now expanded the banking system that includes correspondent banks to use more currencies and to directly handle transfer through correspondent banks. And this is based on international standards for the last several years through the consulting firms that many of you heard about, Oliver Wyman, Ernst & Young and others. They've been assisting Iraq to prepare their banking system to be compliant and meet international standards. A part of that is Iraq being able, which they did in November of last year, officially passed their regulations, their laws for the digital banking system. Why? Because it will be through the digital banking system that the Iraqi dinar and the other emerging market currencies, it'll be through the digital banking system that they will move throughout the whole entire globe, the world, internationally, in order to be backed by digital assets, to be backed by assets, so that we can have a revaluation of such currencies. So this is Iraq's confirmation in writing stating that they have officially connected, and by connecting their banking systems based on international standards to correspondent banks. Correspondent banks are intermediaries, go-betweens that actually will convert the Iraqi dinar into any other currency. It's the correspondent banks that will facilitate the transfer of the dinar, the exchanges of dinar. And I say that I'm talking about not just at our exchanges and retail at your teller window, speaking on a global scale with banks, bank to bank transactions, billions, trillions of dollars. The movement, I should say, billions and trillions in dinar will move throughout the world through international correspondent banks. Okay, young lady, you can continue. How has the CBI expanded transfer options? Oh, you are. Okay, Peculiar Ram, you can unmute. You muted yourself.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
How has the CBI expanded transfer options, added new currencies? The CBI has added the Jordanian dinar and the Saudi riyal to the list of currencies that Iraqi banks can use for international transfers.
Okay, one second, beloved. Folks, one second. So this is very important, folks. Listen, the CBI has added the Jordanian dinar and Saudi riyal to the list of currencies that Iraqi banks can use for what type of transfers?
International.
Folks, an only way that international transfers can occur is that a bank has the means to transfer internationally. It shows you Iraq does. Now, you may say, oh my God, but it's the Jordanian dinar, Saudi riyal. I don't have those currencies. You don't have to. You got to realize it's the Iraqi dinar that will be used to convert from these currencies from the Jordanian dinar, Saudi riyal, back and forth between the dinar, the Iraqi dinar, but also the Jordanian riyal and the Jordanian dinar and the Saudi riyal. Those currencies are connected to other currencies, and those currencies are connected to other currencies. It's a big spider web of currencies, folks, that all are connected to each other. Also, the dinar, the Iraq is connected with euros, the Turkish lira. All this, what this is showing is that Iraq now is connecting to international banks, other countries such as Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and others. They're connecting the dinar. So the dinar, ladies and gentlemen, is officially moving beyond its own borders within Iraq. It's moving cross borders through other countries. Why? Because they are connecting the dinar internationally through other countries already. This is the beginning stages of the inevitable. Go ahead, young lady. You can continue.
Allowed trade in euros. Iraqi banks can now use euros to trade with Turkey, not just with European Union countries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Your phone went black?
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. I'm on JP. Okay, I'm sorry. Transition to correspondent banking. The CBI transitioned external transfers from an electronic platform to direct operations through correspondent banks.
These correspondent banks, folks, are international banks. So they're now connecting through correspondent banks. What are correspondent banks? International banks. The CBI transitioned External transfers, meaning from the CBI, from the electronic platform, direct through international correspondent banks. Go ahead. Why did the CBI expand transfer options?
Why did the CBI expand transfer options? To diversify trade financing options, to streamline international transfers, to involve more banks in foreign exchange, to strengthen Iraq's economic ties with other countries, to align with international banking practices, to promote a stable and secure financial system. Yes, JP Morgan Chase is a correspondent bank. It's one of the world's largest correspondent banks, along with Bank of America, Citibank, and HSBC. The CBI's efforts have received even more significant international support and recognition. The consulting firms EY and Oliver Wyman for the WTO reviewed the plans to reform and upgrade the public and private banking sectors in line with international standards and to facilitate the involvement of Iraqi banks in the international financial relations network.
Boom, folks. So here we have Oliver Wyman, which you all who've been following Goldilocks know of, the Oliver Wyman International Consulting Firm. And EY, Ernst & Young, you remember, Oliver Wyman Consulting Company has been with Iraq in every single U.S. meeting when Iraq came to the U.S. in April last year, and met with the Federal Reserve Bank and also the U.S. Department of Treasury. When they came back in August, Iraq came back to the United States in August. They met with the Federal Reserve Bank, and also they met with the U.S. Department of Treasury. Who else was in those meetings? J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank, and Oliver Wyman, as a consulting company, was facilitating, preparing, and helping Iraq to meet international standards. The Oliver Wyman Consulting Company. Guess what, folks? Oliver Wyman Consulting Company is also a consultant for the World Trade Organization. So the countries within the World Trade Organization, Oliver Wyman consults countries to become compliant in order to gain accession into the World Trade Organization. No coincidence that the Oliver Wyman Consulting Firm has been in all the meetings with Iraq and the U.S. Are you connecting the dots, folks, to see what is happening? Now, the link, the CBI, here we have the receipts that Goldilocks is sharing. This is directly from the CBI. The link is right here showing you. And all the other links, of course, they'll be in the description in the YouTube for the podcast. Receipts, receipts, receipts. None of the fluff, stuff, nothing burgers, stale bun, measle wheat burgers that people are getting out there. This is the real deal Holyfield. Okay, young lady, let's get to the next one. Being listed in a correspondent bank is crucial.
Being listed in a correspondent bank is crucial for facilitating international transactions and making that currency readily usable in the global market.
1 second. That's very important. Being listed in the correspondent bank is crucial for facilitating international transactions and making that currency, making the dinar, readily usable in the global market. Go ahead, young lady.
Without a correspondent bank relationship, it can be difficult for foreign banks to process transactions in that currency, limiting its practical value overseas. Explanation. What is a correspondent bank? A correspondent bank acts as an intermediary between two banks that don't have a direct relationship, allowing them to process cross-border transactions by holding accounts for each other in their respective currencies. Why it matters for currency value. While a currency can technically have value within its own domestic market, its ability to be easily exchanged for other currencies in international transactions is significantly enhanced by being listed in a correspondent bank. A currency can still function and have value within its own country, even if it isn't listed in a correspondent bank, as long as it is accepted by domestic businesses and the government. However, without a correspondent bank, it would be much harder for businesses to make payments in that currency to foreign entities, potentially limiting its international value.
That last sentence is very important. However, without a correspondent bank, so without Iraq having a correspondent bank, it would be much harder for businesses, countries, companies to make payments in the dinar to foreign entities, potentially limiting the value of the dinar. But no, Iraq is now connected with correspondent banks. So therefore, it would be much easier for businesses, for countries to make payments in the dinar for foreign entities, potentially raising the value of the dinar and its international value. Folks, this is why it's important for you to understand facts, to pay attention to facts, to receipts, because you're learning right here how correspondent banks play a role, what Iraq has done in connecting to the international correspondent banks. This is yet another way how the dinar will move internationally in order for the value of the dinar to increase in value. These correspondent banks, folks, guess what? They're also ISO 222 compliant, whereby they will be able to move XRP and other digital assets through the new digital banking system so that gold and other commodities would be able to back our currencies electronically in order for the revaluation of all these currencies to eventually occur. I hope you're connecting the dots. The information is right here in front of you. Now we're going to get into tokenization briefly, and then we're going to get into FOREX to show you more facts, receipts about the dinar and the dong and others and what's happening globally within FOREX. We're going to touch on tokenization real quick, because this is important to back our assets in the banking system. Go ahead, young lady.
Many banks are getting ready to tokenize real-world assets, such as bank deposits, securities, and commodities. Tokenization is a process that creates a digital representation of an asset on a blockchain. This allows the asset to be exchanged securely in real time.
Boom. 1 second, beloved. Tokenization, folks. I'll break this down just in case you understand. Tokenization, it clearly shows you by Goldilocks, the process creates a digital representation. So if you have physical gold in your home, physical gold at a depository, physical gold, whatever it may be, the digital representation of that gold in the new banking system is called tokenization. If it's silver, the digital representation of that silver bar is called tokenization on the new banking, in the new banking system, on the blockchain. Whatever asset, physical asset that one may have, there's the digital representation of that asset is called tokenization. So real world assets, excuse me, you got to realize when it comes to real world assets, there are real world values to those assets. So gold has a value, silver has a value, dinar has a value, dong has a value. So just like when KD mentioned with his wealth manager, who mentioned when the values change for the currencies, there will be another real world value to those currencies, which are assets. Okay, young lady, why tokenizing? Why tokenize assets? You can just read the bold black.
Okay. Why tokenize assets? Improve efficiency, increase transparency, improve accessibility, streamline transactions. How is tokenization happening? Through building blockchain technology, collaborating with digital natives. Who is involved in tokenization? Banks, asset managers, lenders, payment providers, corporate treasurers, and finance departments. Do you want me to continue?
No, you're good, beloved. Thank you. So when she's reading folks about who's involved in tokenization, meaning to be able to convert and provide the electronic form of those physical, of gold, of silver, of others to back our currencies, banks. Who is involved in tokenization? Banks. asset managers, lenders, payment providers. Folks, the new banking system, tokenization, will provide us the ability to have immediate exchanges in the new banking system with these commodities backing our currencies. That's tokenization. Who's involved in tokenization? It doesn't say the Piggly Wigglies, the redemption centers, banks. Why do you think we're constantly sharing with you to establish relationships at the banks? Now, let's get into, one second. Now let's get into what's happening throughout the whole entire Forex market. The international foreign exchange market. A few days ago, Goldilocks received a phone call. And the phone call was from a contact who is a Forex trader, a professional Forex trader. This person works 6 to 7 months out of the year, and that's it, as a professional Forex trader. So this person called Goldilocks and shared with Goldilocks that within the next 30 days, and this phone call was like on the 16th or the 17th of this month, February, so a few days ago, and that there for the next 30 days, meaning to the middle of March, that there was going to be a migration within Forex for additional new currencies that will be added to Forex. And the individual told Goldilocks that the regions for where these currencies that will be updated and migrated will be from the Middle East countries, Asian countries, and African countries. So this individual couldn't go into too much detail with that information to Goldilocks, but they were able just to share that they were contacted actually by their higher ups within Forex, that these updates were going to transpire within the next 30 days. The Forex trader was told that they can continue to trade and do business as usual on the Forex platforms. There's nothing for them to do, for that person to do, but just the FYI is that the systems will be updating within the next 30 days. It will take 30 days for the migration to complete. I want to be very careful, maybe very specific. It would take 30 days for the migration of these other currencies to complete on the Forex platform. Now, there are currencies, of course, that presently exist on Forex, but what it is the updates that are going to go live include artificial intelligence migration for these currencies in these different regions to move throughout the globe, in the global Forex market. So then Goldilocks, being Goldilocks, did the research and found the actual receipt article confirming what the Forex trader shared. And we're going to share it with you. Let's go, young lady.
The Forex market is continuously expanding to include more countries' currencies, particularly with growing accessibility of emerging market currencies due to technological advancements, allowing retail traders to access a wider range of currency pairs and diversify their portfolios beyond major currencies.
Yes, indeed, one of the second beloved. So I'm sure KD is just smiling like a Jesse cat when he heard emerging market currencies,
Mhm.
because he dropped that. He dropped that one with his wealth manager. And folks, just so you know, for you listening, don't go in there throwing buzzwords like emerging markets. If they ask you what's that and try you explain, you can't explain. You're gonna look like a fool. So just know if you're gonna say this, you better know how to come back and so research, read, so you understand. But Katie did such an amazing job,
Yes.
So
He
it's
had a
like
strong pivot.
he sure did. He
Yes.
sure did. And the wealth manager ended up letting him know, yeah, when the values change, because and wealth manager he said he knew things, but he can only say certain things. But he opened up to KD. Okay,
Wow.
continue, young lady. Key points about Forex expansion.
Emerging market access. With improved technology, individual traders can now easily trade emerging market currencies, which were previously mostly accessible to institutional investors.
Okay, 1 second. This is very important because, see, the Forex trader that Goldilocks has several of these relationships with. This one particular one I call Goldilocks is an individual trader. Whereas before, this Forex trader told Goldilocks that there were certain currencies that they couldn't access. Well, after 30 days, that's going to change. Because previously it was really the institutional investors, major banks that had access to certain currencies. Now it's opening up. Diversification trend. Go ahead, young lady.
Diversification trend. Investors are looking to diversify their portfolios by including currencies from developing economies, creating increased demand for these currency pairs.
Oh, yes. Folks, investors are looking to diversify their portfolios, meaning the big banks, big traders, they're looking to diversify their portfolios by including currencies from developing economies. Did you all know that Vietnam is considered a developing economy working on becoming an emerging market economy, folks? We've touched on this before by Goldilocks a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Volatility opportunities. You can go ahead, young lady.
Okay. Volatility opportunities. Emerging currencies can be more volatile, offering potential for higher profits for experienced traders.
What this means, folks, is that with volatility, meaning the extreme value changes of these currencies, meaning up or down, can increase the potential for professional traders to make more profit because of the swings of the value and the prices of these currencies up or down, because traders, folks, make money whether the value goes up or down, depending on how they conduct their trade. So the volatility means the extreme swing. Okay, go ahead, young lady. Increased liquidity.
Increased liquidity. As more traders participating in emerging market currencies, the liquidity of those markets is improving.
Meaning, folks, as traders participate in emerging market currencies such as the dinar, emerging market, such as the dong, which is an emerging market, and others, Venezuela, emerging market, and others, as more traders participate, so as more of these professional traders participate in trading those currencies throughout the world, more money is pumped into those currencies, thereby what's the end result? The increased value of those currencies. Go ahead.
This trend is driving the Forex market's expansion to include more diverse economies and currencies.
Include more diverse economies and currencies, folks, the Forex market is expanding, adding additional currencies that will be available for traders to now trade in the open market. What's the result? the value of those currencies can begin to move. This doesn't mean after 30 days, boom, all of a sudden, oh, it's not. It's that don't. I know what y'all thinking. That's not what this means. Naturally, this is what you want to know. But this does mean, however, yes, it does mean that these currencies that many of us hold will now have a platform with newer technology that they will be operating on with artificial intelligence in order to expand their values. And matter of fact, I'm going to kind of going off. I'm gonna post this article into the room. It's the first link I'm going to post into the room, young lady. I would love for you to read the very, because this is very, I just thought about it. So sometimes I just go off the dome with things, but this is very important. What I'm about to share, it's going to really make people understand, help people to understand. If you can open that link, that Yahoo Finance link, I would love for you to read from, well, the title, and then from report with market evolution, up to however, where so last foreign exchange. So yeah, the title, and then because it's going to hit, yeah, there you go from there.
Okay. Foreign exchange market to grow by 582 billion US dollars from 2025 to 2029, driven by urbanization and digitalization with AI redefining market trends.
Boom. So what this is, folks, this is what Goldilocks' contact was speaking of, that within the next 30 days, for a 30-day cycle, I sound like you. The digitalization, it's contagious. The digitalization and the AI trends, which is, folks, this is the technology that's being integrated into the new banking system, whereby these various emerging market currencies and these emerging market economies will now be migrated onto the global Forex market. Then we're going to touch on a little bit where are these markets? Where are all these currencies? What countries are these currencies that are being added? Well, we're going to see that here in a little bit with receipts. Lady Unique. So go ahead. If you can read up to, okay, go ahead.
Report with market evolution powered by AI, the global foreign exchange market size is estimated to grow by 582 billion from 2025 to 2029, according to Technavio. The market is estimated to grow at a CAGR of 10.6% during the forecast period. Growing urbanization and digitalization is driving market growth with the trend towards 24/7 trading opportunities for foreign exchange. However, uncertainty of future...
You're good.
Okay. Right,
and CAGR, folks, is congruent annual growth rate. Congruent, so it's consistent. Okay, I was thinking, like, what is CA? I forgot. It's been a while since I saw that acronym, but that's what it means.
I had paused to see if you was going to say something, but you didn't.
No. I was going to let you go because I saw you like Oh, you going to try to read it to be CAGR or something, right? You're going to try to
sound it out. Y'all was not about to clown me. Not tonight. Y'all wasn't.
Oh man. So folks, growing urbanization and the digitalization is driving the market. So this is the digitizing of these certain currencies that are being added to Forex with the trend towards 24/7 trading opportunities for foreign exchange. Oh, yes. You know what? Read that last. Yes, read. However, please read that the next sentence. That's very important.
However, uncertainty of future exchange rates poses a challenge.
Yes, this is very good and very important. So with all of this, uncertainty of future exchange rates poses a challenge. Why does it pose a challenge? Why does the future exchange rates pose a challenge? Well, that's because with these currencies that are going to migrate with this AI technology, which is the quantum financial system, they won't be able to just guarantee, okay, the exact rate is going to be XYZ, because the global market, as Goldilocks has always said, is through supply and demand. The global demand for these currencies will determine the rate of these currencies. But now when it comes to the Iraqi dinar, folks, we know it's going to be a fixed rate. And we have shown the receipts that Iraq stated specifically that they will have a fixed rate. The other currencies will float. What those rates will be, it poses a challenge to be exact, because the market will determine those rates. And this is where, and like Wiley has always said, is where it's wise for you to have an exit strategy. So at what rate will you exchange at? Will you exchange at the first rate that shows, or the second, third, or fourth? It depends on you. That's your choice. But this is telling us, this is an article from February the 7th, that the changes with artificial intelligence report with market evolution powered by AI, the global foreign exchange market, is estimated to grow by 582 billion. No, that has nothing to do, that amount has nothing to do with the value of your currencies. This is just telling you internally within Forex. But now, what's very important that I know you all want to see for yourself is, how does this connect to the currencies that you hold? The next screenshot. Now, there are certain regions, just like Goldilocks' contact mentioned, Asian countries where these updates for these currencies were going to be done within Forex. Middle East currencies. And for those that don't know, the dinar is Middle East. And certain African countries and their currencies. So we have the regional analysis where these currencies are being added. North American currencies, Europe, APAC, South America, Middle East, and Africa. Well, we all know that, of course, Iraq is in the Middle East. You all may want to know, South America, of course, Venezuela. You may want to know, where's APAC? Well, APAC, the acronym APAC. If you can read Peculiar Ram, what country is in the APAC, the APAC region?
Vietnam.
Vietnam is part of the Asia Pacific. APAC, APAC, folks, stands for Asia Pacific. So the regional analysis for where these currencies are being added to Forex based on the new technology that is being migrated within the 30-day window. APAC, Vietnam is a part of. So, of course, we have the Vietnamese dong. The Middle East, of course, we have the Iraqi dinar, so forth and so on. So here we have where the dong, the dinar, and other currencies that many of you may hold, certain countries, of course, I don't know what everyone holds, but the main ones that most folks have are being added to the migration with artificial intelligence to be able to trade these new currencies. Not new currencies, I don't want to say that. Based on the new additions in the artificial intelligence and technology and the digitization of the new system within Forex, these currencies will now be added. There was an analysis, the regional analysis for these currencies to be added. The dong, the dinar, and others were a part of it. So I feel like I missed something. Did I miss something, Peculiar Ram, or is that it?
That was it for me. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we have Forex, foreign exchange, currency, the global Forex market. whereby the certain regions had currencies where currencies will be added, that currencies that were not available before. Certain currencies were not available before, that were only available to institutions. But now through the technology and the migration of the technology from the 17th of February to the 17th of March, that 30-day window, these regions, Asia Pacific, whereby Vietnam is included in the dong, Middle East, the dinar, and others. These are not just the only currencies and countries, but there are various countries within these regions that their currencies will be newly migrated onto the Forex market global system with the new digitizing of the technology to now move these currencies throughout the world, not only accessible to the institutions, to the institutional investors, but others as well. So what you have here is the expansion of the Vietnamese dong to be available with the new technology and Forex. Now, the Vietnamese dong is already, folks, international. The Vietnamese dong is already trading on Forex. I want to make this extremely clear to you. The difference is that now it will be expanded with the new technology in the quantum financial system to prepare for it to go global with the international rate when the time comes. In order for the dong to be able to have to have a higher, stronger rate, it's already international, but for it to have a higher, stronger rate, it has to now move throughout the Forex system with the new technology, migrated on the new technology, so that other markets, regions can access it, and then demand for the dong can be reached digitally, instantly, therefore increasing its value when the time comes. And then you have Vietnam as a partner country of the BRICS, officially a partner country of the BRICS. You have various BRICS nations that are also a part of these regions, whereby these currencies will now have access on the new digital system. Whereas these currencies like the dong and the dinar was not available on this system before, it will be now on Forex. Does this all make sense to you, young lady?
It sure does.
What I would like, if Wiley, are you here? If you are still here,
Yeah, I'm here, Freedom.
hey, you want anything you want to add or subtract? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that was great. Yeah, I was glad you didn't put out more on what Freedom got, or I'm sorry, what Goldilocks got from the actual Forex people, because I don't want the gurus to take all that and kind of twist it up.
Yeah,
So
you know they
you
will.
did great on it. But I'm just seeing Monday morning come, and we're going to have McWeasel meal with cheese's memes all over the board.
Oh, supersized.
McWeasel with cheese. Oh my God.
McWeasel with cheese. I would love for KD, Charity and Peace, and Cino's mom. If you guys can unmute real quick, we would love for you to come back on. I'm at the get you to okay. Cino's mom, I see you. Okay, KD, I see you, and C and L's mom, we got you. All right. If you guys can unmute, it's amazing because okay, I see you, Charity and Peace. All right, we got you. There you go. C&L's mom, Katie, and Charity and Peace. Would anything? Let me go to you. Let me just do this in an orderly fashion. Charity and Peace. If you can unmute again, it looks like you muted yourself. Okay, I'll come. There you go. What you think about all this, Charity and Peace? You got some clarity?
Definitely got some clarity. There's a lot going on, but it makes a lot of sense. I like
Good.
I said, the way you guys break it down, it's like, okay, We still got a little bit. It's getting close, but we still got some ways to go. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
You have time to get your relationships established and get prepared.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Cino's mom, what you got, young lady?
I'm so happy that the way you explained everything about the Vietnamese dong and how all this is going to work. It makes perfect sense. Thank you.
You're welcome, and you can see it in writing, right in your face, right from the actual articles with the receipts, right? Awesome. Awesome. KD, now you mentioned emerging markets with your wealth manager. You end up in a situation where you have some currency with you, and he admitted there's certain things he can't say, but what you think now? You see this article about emerging markets and what you said.
The truth will set us free, freedom. And I appreciate the truth from all of you people. It's very refreshing.
Yes,
it's very
yes.
very peaceful. Very peaceful.
Now you see, you didn't screw up too bad when you mentioned emerging markets in that meeting. Emerging currencies.
No,
actually, it was the right thing to say.
I had a plan. I knew I was going to have to come back to it down the road.
Awesome. It was just perfect timing that we had you on tonight, and this is the article that because Vietnamese dong, emerging market currency, Iraqi dinar, emerging market currency. There you go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Thank you. Peculiar Rand, what you got for us? You ready to take us home?
Oh, you want me to sing? I'm just playing.
What? Oh Lord! No.
Hey, Freedom, we're gonna have to rename KD now to Mr. Strong Pivot per Peculiar.
Strong
I know,
pivot,
right?
yes.
Strong pivot.
Yes. Kudos to you, brother. That was the strongest pivot I've ever seen
Yes.
in my life, and it came out so well into your advantage. And I'm glad you learned something from it, and I'm glad you were resilient in the group. Even when we were showing a little bit of tough love and just trying to get you balanced out, you went in and you showed off. Great testimony. I'm
Thank
proud
you, PR.
of you.
Your leadership and everybody else's leadership has helped me so much.
Awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
Congratulations. Keep up the great work. We got your back. All right. We all good, Peculiar Ram and Wiley? We good to go?
Hey, I'm out this evening if you guys are.
All right, beautiful people. Everyone, click the link at the top of the description. You can join these beautiful people and have the success just like them, and all the other members of the tribe will help you with the 8 steps to get you rocking and rolling. All right. Stay grounded. Stay away from the wheel meat, and just make sure that you show love, show kindness, and have fun, like we like to do. All right, everyone have a good night, and be well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance to get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.